Okay. Good evening, parents, students, and panel members. Welcome to the Sustainability Pathway presentation, the newest pathway at District 214. I am Dr. Angel Johnson. I'm the Buffalo Grove Math and Science Division Head, and I would serve as your moderator this evening. Parents and students, I encourage you to if you have any questions, to place them in the chat, and I will be checking that chat throughout our presentation today. So with that being said, I would like to begin the presentation. And my first question is to all of our panel members. Can you please introduce yourself, identifying your name, your role, and the organization with which you are affiliated? So let's start with Laura, and everyone else could just jump in after Laura.
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Laura Morgan, and I serve as the outreach specialist for an association called the Illinois Section American Water Works Association. So if you students aren't familiar with an association can be defined as a group of people who come together for a joint purpose. And in this case, we serve people who work in the total water industry, which means drinking water treatment and wastewater treatment. So our association members are engineers, water plant operators, they work in sales, they work in IT, all across the industry, and we provide education for them. So webinars, seminars, trainings, we have committees that they volunteer on to provide those services. And my job within that association is to reach out to students to do some career development and workforce development and talk about careers in water.
Thank you, Laura. Joanna Marshall.
Hi, good evening. I'm Joanna Marshall. I am a science teacher at Buffalo Grove High School, and I will be teaching second semester one of the new sustainability courses.
We jump to Teresa. Or Norbert, are you ready to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi. My name is Norbert Machkowski. I am one of the pump operators for the Village of Arlington Heights. I work for the Water Production Division. We're basically in charge of the water system for the village. And I just wanted to, thank all of you guys from the school district and everyone that was able to join tonight to put this meeting together. Really looking forward to it. And I know there's a lot of great opportunities in the water industry. I know especially in the next coming years, we're going to have a great workforce reduction. We're looking at losing about a third of our workforce. So it's awesome to see young individuals that are potentially looking to start a career in the water industry.
Thank you guys for sharing the information. The next question is, can you describe your background? Can you focus on your educational and professional experiences? Where did you complete your undergrad? And what kind of relevant work experience do you have in this particular field pathway? Laura, I'm going to start with you again.
Sure. So I am newer to the water industry myself. My background is an educator. I served as a middle school social studies teacher for 18 years, 1 year at the high school, actually, and then 17 at the middle school. So a different path than Norbert will talk about, but all paths can lead to water, as you'll see, and you'll hear us talk about. So I started looking for a career in conservation. I'm very interested in it. It's my passion. So I decided for the second half of my career life to find something. And when I was job searching, I found this association, the Illinois Section American Water Works Association, and I thought, how perfect. It will kind of marry together my passion for conservation and our Earth's resources and my passion for education. And I did my undergrad not very far away in Wheaton, where I studied German and political science and ended up going back to school to get my master's in education.
Thank you, Laura. Norbert, you want to add to that your undergrad and work experience related to this pathway?
Absolutely. So, actually, prior to the public sector, I kind of started off my career working in the family business. I come from a family of plumbers, so kind of both those industries are very, closely tied together. I worked for my father's business for around like 10 years. I made a lot of connections in the industry through some friends, and that actually opened up some doors where I got my first public works job working for the city of Des Plaines, which I was there for around 4 years, give or take, close to 4 years. I was on the utility side of things, so I was dealing with water, wastewater, basically on the construction and maintenance side of things. So repairing sanitary sewer mains, stormwater mains, working on water main, lift stations. And that experience opened up the door for working for the village of Arlington Heights, which that was an opportunity of a lifetime for me. I am a resident of Arlington Heights, so um, working for the village, in the town that I live in, really, I mean, it makes that my work that much more meaningful for me. I'm dual certified. I have both my water, wastewater operator certifications through the Illinois EPA. I have my wastewater collection system operator and my Class C drinking water operator license. I would say I'm pretty fresh to the public works side of things, but not only that, the water side of things. So I have a lot to learn. But I thoroughly enjoy this career. It can be very challenging at times, but it's also a very rewarding job for me. Um, I started off my college career. It took me a little bit to kind of figure out what I wanted to do. I had some ideas in my head. Originally I wanted to be a firefighter. I tested. It's a difficult field to get in, especially around here. Between working a full-time job, I wasn't able to get my paramedic license, which basically when a paramedic school is a full-time job of its own. Like I said, I had some opportunities that opened up, but I ended up receiving my associates from Harper in fire science technology. I recently completed my undergraduate degree from Southern Illinois, Carbondale in public safety management in 2018. And I just recently graduated this summer with my Master of Public Administration from Southern Illinois University, Edwardsville.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
Thank you.
congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you. Joanna Marshall, I know that your experience is a little different than Laura and Norbert. Can you talk about your experience and your educational background as well?
Sure. So my undergraduate degree I got at the University of Illinois in secondary education general science. So I'm certified to teach biology, chemistry, physics, astronomy, and earth science. I have my master's degree in educational media with a media literacy concentration from Appalachian State University. And I have a doctorate in curriculum and instruction from Loyola Chicago. And when I was an undergrad at U of I was when I started doing a lot of work with an organization called the Student Environmental Action Coalition. And so for me, teaching this course is kind of coming back to some of that work that I started doing as an undergrad at U of I.
Thank you. Joanna, I'm going to start with you. I know that you've been part of the planning of our sustainability pathway for the past 2 years. Can you talk about describe the courses that we've been planning with the team, the content and skills that students will be exposed to? Year one courses, can we talk about those courses first?
Sure. I mean, those are the courses that are most kind of laid out. So one teacher is teaching first semester, that's Mike McPartland, and some of what we talked about was giving kids an understanding of how science is different as a discipline, looking at reliability of sources. I know he was going to get into the idea of greenwashing and address that. For me, my focus has been looking through an eco-media literacy lens, addressing climate justice, and centering Indigenous voices when it comes to our approaches to sustainability. And I know further on down the line there, we're talking about earth science and looking more specifically at water. And it's pretty exciting to be creating some of these new courses.
Mhm. And so for year two courses, well, let's continue year one. Can you talk about the external experiences we plan for our students?
I can't really speak to what Mike has planned. I know he's already taking kids outside. One of the places I'm looking into bringing my students to is a place called Plant Chicago that is looking at sustainability in an urban environment. And so they do a lot of work on like a circular system. So how are we taking our waste and kind of reusing it? And it's something I'm not very familiar with. So I'm looking forward to that experience.
And I know that we are planning on having guest speakers and additional field trip as well. Any guest speakers that you have contacted or you see that we are doing this year?
I have a friend of mine is the disaster. He's working for Los Alamos National Labs, which is where a lot of our nuclear power research happens. And I believe he is the disaster planner. He was also a firefighter and a fire chief for about 11 years in Antarctica. So he has a really interesting perspective, both on climate change and then the flip side of that, working at Los Alamos Labs. So I'm hoping to have him zoom in and talk to my students about both of those experiences.
Okay, thank you. Our year two courses, I know the team worked this summer on those courses very intensively. Sustainable aquatic system and the sustainability of dynamic planet. Is there anything you want to share regarding those two courses? What skills and content that students can look forward to seeing in those courses?
I don't have that information in front of me. I know we talked about it at our summer workshop, but I apologize. I don't have the specifics for those courses moving forward.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
So I'm checking the chat to see if there's any questions. I don't see any as of yet. Parents, students, please, and if you have any questions, please add them. So I'm gonna move to our industry partners. Question I have for you. Please describe what a typical day may look like in your world, work activities, anything as such.
Norbert, I'm going to defer to you for this.
Okay. So, typical day. When it comes to public works, there's not every day is typical, but as far as on the water operator side of things, our main duty is providing clean and safe drinking water for consumers, which are the residents, and also providing adequate water volume and also pressure that's maintained within the system. Some of our big responsibilities is EPA compliance. So we're doing all the EPA paperwork that gets submitted on a monthly, yearly basis. We're also mandated to do a variety of water sampling. So we're doing water sampling for we're doing BACT samples, so basically looking for coliform water, radionuclides in our deep wells. I mean, we have all sorts of sampling that we do, which that's really our main duty, is to ensure that the water we provide is clean and safe. Another thing that's really unique with the Village of Arlington Heights, we're one of the Class C drinking water facilities, but the one thing that really makes us unique is that we're one of the only Class C facilities that actually has our own water laboratory that's certified by the Cook County Department of Health. So we have our own analysts in-house are able to take samples and process them versus most municipalities, they send them out to laboratories or other Class A facilities in the area, which that's one of the things we're going to kind of talk about because we have all sorts of different classes of water operators. So that's something we'll kind of hit a little bit later on. And as far as day-to-day activities, we're monitoring our system 24/7. Kind of with all the technology we have, the system kind of runs itself. But with technology, we also have a lot of issues. So we closely monitor how our pumps are running, also all of our chemical feed systems because we chlorinate our water. So we want to make sure that all of our equipment is running optimally. And if we notice that something's not running right, we want to resolve that issue right away before something catastrophic can potentially happen. And in the village, we have a total of 4 water pumping stations. We also have 6 deep wells, which those are essentially, it's a reserve of water for us. So if there's a catastrophic event where we're not able to get our water from Lake Michigan, we actually have the ability to pull our own water from deep wells, which some of those range all the way down to 1,600 feet deep. We also do daily station checks, equipment checks, just to ensure that everything is running the way it should be. We also do handle emergency after-hour calls, so we work very closely within different village organizations. We have close connections with police and fire. We respond basically to water main breaks, sanitary sewer backups, storm damage. We also assist the fire department and police department when needed. And each day brings its own set of challenges to us. So some days aren't typical for us, which it definitely makes the job more interesting, and it makes it very rewarding at the end of the day. And ultimately, we provide a valuable service by providing clean and safe drinking water for our consumers. And honestly, without water, we wouldn't be living in the world as we know it.
Interesting. Norma, you mentioned challenges. Each day bring its own challenges. Can you describe one or two of those challenges that you face?
So I mean, time to time we have issues with our equipment. So budgets can be tight. So we kind of we have to work with what we have. Also as far as like severe weather events. So basically, we're under the umbrella of Public Works. So one day we're working as water operators, the next day we're assisting other different departments. So working in Public Works, we don't only work on the water side, but we work under that umbrella where we're assisting other departments when needed. So we definitely have work cut out for ourselves. We do a lot. So I mean, there's different facets that we kind of do day to day.
Okay, thank you. What training is necessary to obtain a job in this field? Certification, degree, experiences?
And I could talk to that actually. And then Norbert, again, I'll defer to you. So it depends because the industry is so broad. There's kind of jobs for everybody. So you could go to school for biology and become an environmental scientist and do water quality monitoring or ecosystem monitoring. You could become a civil or structural engineer and design city systems. So something that's a hot topic in the news right now are PFAS and lead pipes. And especially in our area, in the Chicagoland area, this is a big, big problem because Norbert, as he said, the Illinois Environmental Protection Agency and the national EPA, they have mandates that you can have 0 lead. So they are planning for that. How are they going to change out the pipes? Municipalities are planning for that. How are they going to dig up this infrastructure? So for that, you would need a college degree, a 4-year college degree to become an engineer, to be a lab tech or lab analyst, to study environmental science. And many people go on and they do more professional development. For example, if you're going to be an engineer, it is highly, highly recommended that you go back to school. And it's kind of like a master's, but it's called a PE degree. So you get those fancy letters at the end of your title. It makes you more official, and it definitely gives you a lot more credit in the industry.
Mhm.
So really, there could be anything. You could go right out of high school into a job. In fact, that is what Norbert and I are very excited about, the chance to hopefully kick off a water operator in training program where you don't need college experience. And in fact, some of the great jobs out there that people often overlook are local and state jobs, government jobs, where they might pay for you to go back and to get your degree, or at least help you out with your professional development, which is a fantastic idea. So you're learning, you're getting experience, and you're getting paid to do so. So there's really something for everybody. Again, if you are in IT, Norbert mentioned the SCADA system. It's the big overarching computer system that monitors plants and operations. We're constantly in need of good technology, informational technology people. So you name it, there's a job for you.
Wow. So excited. Norbert, you want to add anything to that?
Laura really, I mean, she hit the nail on the head with that one. I kind of wanted to add to the education portion of it.
Mhm.
I was fortunate enough, my organization, they help pay for some of my school. There's great organizations like AWWA, which they provide scholarships for for individuals that are either pursuing a degree in this field or individuals that already work in the field. There's also other organizations like American Public Works Association, which I've received scholarships from them too. And it's great knowing that there's organizations that really they stand by us and they give us these opportunities to work on our professional experience, but also our educational experience.
So I'm wondering, when we think about the job market, is it a open field? Are there enough jobs out there? Can we look at like the projection of jobs in 10 to 5 years?
So, if you don't mind me talking about this, Laura, one of the things I mentioned earlier, in the next 10 years or so, there's going to be a big turnover of individuals retiring. So, not only the water, but the wastewater side of things, we're going to lose around a third of our workforce. So, there's going to be a lot of good job opportunities. They're good paying jobs. You have excellent benefits, pension. And I'll kind of hit some of the other things as far as, some of the certifications or experience that's needed. A lot of organizations now, they're looking for young individuals that, they have the drive. They want to learn this industry. Um, I know there's a lot of openings that I've seen where they're actually hiring trainees. So you don't really necessarily have to have experience, just some basic knowledge, kind of, how the water system works. And I mean, really, we're just looking for ambitious individuals that want to learn, and we'll give them all the necessary on the job training to be successful. And as far as some of these entry level positions, most of these jobs, they don't require any licensures. Most of the jobs just require, high school diploma, GED, and you can get licensed while you actually work at that organization. But that's one of the things that also varies from organization to organization. You know, and I'll kind of break down some of the different certifications that the EPA has, so we kind of have a better understanding of kind of how things work. So the EPA, they have 4 different water operator certifications. They have a Class D, a C, a B, and A. A D license, that's the lowest level license, which essentially that would be pumping, storage, and distribution of water. That requires 890 hours of experience in order to get that certification. Class C water operators, which Arlington Heights, we're Class C facilities. Not only do we store and pump our water, but we also chemically feed our water. So we chlorinate the water. We add a little bit of chlorine because our water sourced all the way from Lake Michigan. We actually receive our water from the city of Evanston, which that licensure requires 1,780 hours. The next after that is a Class B, which that's a little bit more involved. Those would be facilities that don't receive water from Lake Michigan. So it'd be, I'll give you like an example, like the village or the city of Crystal Lake. They have deep wells there, so which they basically pump their own water. They do aeration, filtration, ion exchange. They also put fluoride. They chlorinate the water, so it's a little bit more involvement, which that requires 5,340 hours. And a Class A facility would be one like the city of Evanston, which has a surface water treatment plant, which that basically they go through the whole treatment, the whole process of treating water. So that would be coagulation, sedimentation, lime softening, UV disinfection, pathogen removal, membrane filtration. They also add chlorine, fluoride, orthophosphate. So, I mean, that basically that license would be kind of the cream of the crop. So that's the highest license you can get in the state of Illinois. And that also requires the same amount of experience, which is 5,340 hours.
Wow.
Yeah, so it definitely, when it comes to a career like this, these licenses they're easily attainable. It's, at the end of the day, it's what you put into it. So you really have to put your time, you have to study. So, I'm not going to lie. I went through college and, the water operator test was one of the more difficult tests I've taken in my life. So, but, we have a lot of great organizations that, provide great material like AWWA. And we also have a lot of great industry members that impart their wisdom on us. We have so many people that are willing to go out of their way to, really help us to succeed at what we're doing.
Thank you for sharing that. I do have a question from Teresa. Teresa asks, what type of internships are available for environmental science over the summer for 18-year-olds? When should I start looking and where? Does AH Public Works offer internships?
I would say start looking second semester of your school year because they look to hire, I think, by March. So for environmental science, you could look at many different options, whether it be public works, water utilities, or even nonprofits. For example, so the ISAWWA, the Illinois Section American Water Works Association, we have an internship available every summer, but we start hiring for that in the spring. So depending on what you want to do, I would start planning for that, thinking about it. And definitely around the winter, start to research and reach out to people to see when applications are due so that you don't miss out. Because if you apply in the summer, it oftentimes is too late. And then I think that might help answer your question. But Norbert, do you want to talk about the utility, Arlington Heights?
Yeah, absolutely. So I know on a yearly basis, summertime for village residents, and I believe one of the prerequisites, you do have to go to college or be enrolled in college, but we do offer seasonal positions within each of our departments. I know forestry, they take in individuals. We take in, I know typically water production, so the water operators. We usually have one seasonal that comes in the summer and basically works through the entire summer up until the school year starts. I mean, as far as stuff that we offer as an organization, that's kind of what we're doing right now. And I know kind of on the water side of things, we kind of talked about the apprenticeship that we're looking to offer. I know we're kind of ironing out all the details right now. So that's kind of in the works. But from my understanding, we're going to be opening up enrollment, I believe, in November, and it's going to run through January, if I'm not mistaken. And I know also one thing we were planning on doing, we actually, for students that are interested, we were looking to potentially offer an open house sometime in December, so we can kind of give you guys a tour of our facility, kind of day-to-day operations. We can do a plant tour just to kind of see, what we do on a day-to-day basis. Because honestly, a lot of the work we do, it's kind of in the background, so people fully don't understand what we do. So I think, it's really a good way to kind of show what we do, because it's kind of hard to explain it through a Zoom meeting. If so, we don't have a date that's set yet, but there's a tentative date. I believe it was beginning of December. We're looking to offer open house for individuals that are interested. So I know we'll definitely keep in contact, and once we get more information, we'll send it over to you guys.
Okay, thank you. Norbert, well, one of the courses that we talked about the past 2 years in planning the sustainability pathway is data statistics. Can you talk about how you use data daily or on a regular basis?
So I mean, as far as day to day, with SCADA, with all the programming we have now, a lot of the math, we honestly we don't use a lot of it, just because
Okay.
all that's handled, via our SCADA system. So I mean, it's a lot of our stuff starting to go digital now. So a lot
Okay.
a lot of the stuff we're doing as far as our forms for the EPA, compliance, we were calculating different calculations for like chlorine dosages. A lot of that stuff is starting to go away, just as technology is increasing. So I can say one thing. I know when it comes to getting certified as a water operator and actually taking the test to become an operator in training, I know there's a lot of statistics and math that's involved in the testing process. Um, so that's kind of some of the insight I can give you guys with that. But as far as day to day, we don't honestly use a lot of statistics or math. I mean, that's kind of starting to go away just as technology increases.
Okay. Thank you. Joanna, your passion for social justice, and we talked about the connection with that, with the sustainability
Mhm.
pathway. You want to add anything?
Um, I think I've been looking into a lot of sources around climate justice and looking at a climate, giving students a more kind of broader view of how we got to where we are. I also think one of the nice things about this course is it's an opportunity to look at things that are happening right now in the world that are related to climate and sustainability. And so I'm looking forward to that, and also addressing issues of environmental racism and how lower income and communities of color tend to be more impacted by both environmental and climate change, not just locally in our area, but globally as well. So I'm hoping to give kids a broader perspective on some of those issues.
Thank you. Okay, so my question to each of you now is, what is the best advice to a high school students interested in this field, in this career?
Would you like me to begin?
Sure, Laura. Thank you.
Well, as a former educator, I am going to tell you, keep your mind open and try things. Take courses that you maybe wouldn't otherwise. And you know what? If you hate it, you hate it, and you just learn something. You learn what you don't want to do. You learn what you're good at and what you're not as good at, and where you need help when you try different things. So it makes you a stronger person. As Norbert said, Arlington Heights will probably offer an open house. Go to those things. When people offer you opportunities, please take them. And especially if you're interested in sustainability, energy, environmental, and data analytics, like I said, there is something for everybody out there in this industry, but it's a very unknown industry. So keep your eyes open, ask a lot of questions to your teachers, to your guidance counselors, to your community members. We might be older, but we know a few things. So even environmental justice, as Dr. Marshall was just saying, there are so many things out there that you could find a newfound passion for. And especially, I can speak to the water industry and wastewater industry. People are passionate. They're passionate about providing an essential service. They're passionate about the environment and their fellow colleagues. So reach out, because the odds are that you're going to find someone who's willing to take the time to answer your questions and give you advice.
Awesome advice, Laura. Thank you so much. Dr. Marshall, Joanna Marshall, or Norbert?
I always tell my students that take 4 years of math, 4 years of science. And I love what Laura said about trying something that you might not normally like. And it's okay if you decide you don't like it, but that way, if they have 4 years of science and they have 4 years of math, it just opens a lot more possibilities for them when they're looking to apply to different colleges.
Thank you. Norbert?
Yeah, and kind of going off of what Laura said, just take advantage of all the valuable resources that are offered by all these great organizations. The Illinois section, Waterworks, they have a lot of great coursework. There's the same thing. There's a lot of passionate people that work there, passionate people in the industry that are looking to, help advance young professionals. I know some of the students, you guys are kind of the beginning stages of, from my understanding, you guys are gonna be starting high school, but it's just awesome to see that you guys are already gauging interest and really thinking about, what you potentially want to do as a career. All I can say, the water industry, it's a great industry. If you're not familiar with it, I hope you guys take the opportunity to potentially come to one of our open houses over in Arlington Heights. We'd love to give you guys a tour of our facility. I know there's a lot of great municipalities and other organizations that actually offer facility tours to the general public, and I'm willing to pass some of that information along if you guys would like to actually get a tour of some of the bigger water treatment plants. I know I have some connections over in Jawa in Lake Bluff. I know they do offer tours for the general public, which they have a beautiful facility there, and you can really just see all the behind the scenes work that really goes into what it's like being a water treatment operator.
I love people with connections. So we are approaching 7:45. So I'm encouraging any parents or students, if you have any questions, if you can put them in the chat before we get ready to leave. We had received some awesome information today from our panel members. Thank you so much. So if you have any questions that you would like to ask the panel members, please submit it right now. As we're waiting for perhaps any other questions, panel, is there anything else you would like to share?
I would encourage students to get summer jobs, whether it be paid, unpaid, and particularly in public works or local or state. There are summer jobs that will give you experience that you will see again. If you like it, you don't like it, take classes, join clubs, but use your summers to try to inform what you would like to do in the future. And so I know that a lot of kids have gotten jobs in public works because they started there in the summer during high school. So that would be my one piece of advice, in addition to the other. Find an internship, follow your passions, try different things.
And if I could just add on, I want to mention one thing. Illinois section of Waterworks, they offer a lot of great networking events. I want to say, Laura, I forgot what the name of the one event was, but you said it was kind of geared towards, was it high school age students? So I know there's a lot of good opportunities there to network and, meet people in the industry. And that's, that's really, I mean, if that's something you want to do as a career, it's a great way to kind of get your foot in the door, get your name out there and just meet people in the industry and just show your interest.
So we have, it's called Total Water U in the summer. And you get to participate in a networking event to talk about interpersonal skills, leadership skills. In a separate session, there's a plant tour with some education about how plants work. Last 2 years ago, we went to the Jardine plant, which is one of the biggest in the country, and the Sawyer plant we went to this past summer, which is another large facility that you don't usually get to see. In addition to that, we provide student memberships for free so that you can get access to all kinds of classes and information and discounts on certain things that we offer as far as trainings. So, yeah, I would highly encourage you to reach out about that and to look for Total Water U opportunities in the summer.
Hey, Laura, Teresa, question or statement is some of the summer jobs have age restriction of 18 and older and had to be enrolled in college. Is there a website where jobs for 17 to 18 olds can access?
You have to look specifically. I'm not sure about a website. I know we have a career site on the isawwa.org site. At very least, you can go and you can look at the types of jobs that are out there in the industry. Sometimes they post internships, but you do have to be a little bit careful as far as public works or water departments, street sanitation, because they do have heavy equipment. There might be chemicals. Some might require you to be 18, some not. So it really does depend. You've got to do your due diligence. I know that Norbert said the youth apprenticeship that we're trying to work out with District 214 hopefully will allow 17 and 18-year-olds to participate, maybe with a limited basis, depending on heavy machinery and things like that, that is legal for kids to actually operate. So my advice is, again, kind of look to see what's out there and don't be afraid to reach out and email or call. People love student outreach. And of course, you can reach out to myself, to Norbert. I know he'd be more than willing to help you research those types of things. Norbert, do you have more from the utility side of things that you can say about age restrictions?
So I know from my understanding, I'm not an HR person, so I don't know all the little details, but you pretty much nailed it on the head. So we do have currently it's a 18-year-old restriction just because, like Laura said, we're dealing with a lot of heavy equipment. We're dealing with chlorine, so there's a lot of things that are involved that there's a lot of risks involved in that job. And like it was mentioned, we're looking to potentially open up. We're kind of ironing things out with HR right now, but we want to be able to open up the opportunity for this apprenticeship for 17-year-olds. So I know once kind of more details come in, we could kind of start ironing things out. I know more information will come out. So that's kind of above me at this point. So I know we're definitely going to keep in close contact between Laura and the school district and kind of go from there.
You guys know of any seasonal jobs by the government? This question is from Teresa. Teresa, I love your questions. Thank you for asking them. Are there any seasonal jobs? Does Arlington Heights Public Works offer mentorship for soil research mentorships?
We do not know. Not that I'm aware of, at least, but that's something we don't do at the moment.
For soil?
Yes.
Okay. Like earth, soil. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I just wanted to make sure that I'm getting it correct. You could try the Department of Agriculture. There's divisions in Illinois. You could try the so the USDA, US Department of Agriculture. You could try the Farm Bureau. I believe there's one located in Carroll Stream, which is not too far southwest of you guys, here in Arlington Heights area in northwest suburbs. That might be something to look at. You could go on the Department of Labor website to try to see where there's local internship or apprenticeship opportunities. That might be helpful. And then there's another question I know that I wanted to address, and I don't remember exactly what it is. So if I didn't ask or answer anything, Teresa, and you have an additional question, ask away or reach out to me and I can try to get you more information.
So it is 7:45. I would like to thank panel members Laura, Joanna, and Norbert for sharing your information. I can see your passion in this field. The information was really awesome, very informative. So thank you so much for taking the time out tonight to share your love of this field. Teresa, I love your questions, so thank you. I want to remind everyone that this meeting on sustainability was recorded and will be posted on the district website. So if you need additional information, feel free to rewatch this video. And at this time, we will end this presentation. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Right.